This morning we're talking about subtraction in mode 5. Therefore, when we're talking about mode 5, we are talking about subtraction in mode 5. Think what will come to your mind is when you're talking about mode 5, talking about digit number that start from 1, 2, 3, then 4 all together. Therefore, when you have basically those digit number 3, 4, then have it here again 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then have minus, subtraction. Then, we're using your circle for more convenience. You have 0, we have 1, we have 2 here, we have 3 here, we have 4. Then it can go anti-clockwise when it is negative. It can go clockwise when it is what? Positive. Therefore, the first thing is 0 plus 0, automatically that will give me what? 0. Now, when you have a 0 minus 1, consider the 0 and minus 1, I'm going to have what? Minus 1. I'm going to have minus 1. Basically, it's moving in 1 times, but in opposite direction, and that will give me what? 4. Therefore, the first one I'm going to have is going to be 4. Because of the direction at which it's moving, then move to the next one, 0 minus 2. That will 0 minus 2. That will give me what? Minus what? 2. Considering this and this now, 0 minus 2 will give me minus 2. It's moving 2 times. This is the first one. Then we go to the second one. From here to here is 1 time. From here to here is another 1 time, making 2 times. So it's moving in anti-clockwise direction in 2 times, and that will give me what? 3. I'm going to have 3 here. Then basically, when you go to the next one will be 0 minus 3. Automatically, I'm going to have minus 3. Meaning it's moving 3 times. 1, 2, then the third one will be from 3 to 2. And that will give me what? 2. Basically, then for that one will be 0 minus 4. The last one on this row with this 0 minus 4. And that will give me what? Minus 4. Basically, it's going to move in anti-clockwise direction in 4 times. 1, 2, 3, then 4. And that will give me what? Automatically, that will give me 1. Finish with that particular row. Then you can go to the next row. The next row will be 1 minus 0. Next row will be 1 minus 0. Automatically, 1 minus 0 will give me what? 1. 1 minus what? 0. Oh, sorry, 0 minus 0 will give me 0. Pin the 4. Okay, I'm here. 1. I'm here. Sorry, 1 minus 0 will give me what? 1. Therefore, I'm going to have my 1 here. Because it's in 1 time from 0, I will just give me 1. 1 time from 0. Then I have 1 minus 1. And the next one will be 1 minus 1. So that will give me what? 0. It's not moving at all. It's on 0 position. Therefore, the next one will be 1 minus what? 2. The next one is between this and this. 1 minus 2. Then that will give me what? Basically, I'm going to have minus 1. Moving in anti-clockwise direction in 1 time, and that will give me what? 4. I'm going to have 1, 0, 4. Then the next one will be 1 minus what? 3. Have 1 minus 3. Now if I'm having 1 minus 3, I'm going to have 1 minus 3. And that will give me what? Minus 2. And it's moving into what? 1 minus 3. I have 1. I'm going 3. If you pay 1 out of 3, you still be owing what? 2. Therefore, we'll be moving in anti-clockwise direction in 2 times. 1, 2. Therefore, that will give me what? 3. Because this is 1 movement, then this is another what? Movement, make it what? 3. Then the next one will be 1 minus 4. When I have 1 minus 4, automatically when I have 1 minus 4, I'll be having minus 3. Moving 3 times. 1, 2, then 3. Okay, that was 3. That is 1, 2, 3. That will give me what? Automatically, I'm going to have 2 here. going to have 2. Then you do for the second one, 2 minus 0. You know, if you have 2 minus 0, I'm going to have 2. I'm going to have 2. It's going to move in clockwise direction in 2 times, and that will give me what? 2. Then 2 minus 1. If I have 2 minus 1, automatically I'm going to have 1. It's going to move in 1 times, and that will give me what? 1. That will give me what? 1. Then I move to the next one. The next one will be 2. 2 minus what? 2. Automatically 2 minus 2 will give me 0. It's not moving anywhere. Therefore, there's 0. Then the next one will be 2 minus 3. Now if I have 2 minus 3, I'm going to have minus 1. 2 minus 3, that will be minus 1. It's going to move in anti-clockwise direction 1 times, and that will give me what? 4. Basically, that will give me what? 4. Then move to the next one, which is 2 minus 4. 2 minus 4, automatically I'm going to have minus 2. How we do it is very simple. This is bigger, this is smaller. Subtract it and let the bigger take the sign. Minus or 2. Automatically it's going to move 2 times in what? Anti-clockwise direction, which is 1, 2, and that will give me what? 3. Then basically the same direction, 3 minus what? 0. We have 3 minus 0. That will give me what? 3. Basically, 3 minus 0 will give me 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to have 3. It's always easy. Then 3 minus 1. If I have 3 minus 1, I'm going to have 2. Basically, it's moving 2 times in clockwise direction. 1, 2. That will give me what? 2. Then 3 minus 2. That will be the next one. 3 minus 2. That will give me what? 1. Automatically, it's going to move just in 1 times 1. That will give me what? 1. Then 3 minus 3. That will give me what? 0. If we have 3 minus 3, and that will give me what? 0. Automatically, I'm going to have 0 here. Then when I have 3 minus 4, 3 minus 4. Automatically, if you have 3 minus 1, I'm going to have minus 1. It's going to move in what? In anti-clockwise direction in 1 times, which is what? 4. That will give me what? 4. Basically, the last one, it will be 4 minus. Basically, it will be 4 minus what? 0. Automatically, that will give me what? 4. And the principle is when it is, especially in the clockwise direction, when it is less than the mode, you write it. You don't even have to bother the movement. You might not even use the movement if it is less than the what? The mode you are giving. You are giving 5, I have 4. Automatically, I'm just going to write 4 immediately. Then if I have 4 minus 1, which is the next one, this 4 minus 1, that will give me 3. 3 is less than the mode. I'm just going to write 3. Don't need to bother myself. Then 4 minus 2. 4 minus 2. Basically, I'm going to have what? 2, which is less than the what? The mode number. I will write 2 straight. Then 4 minus 3, which is the next one. 4 minus 3. Basically, for 4 minus 3, I'm going to have just 1, which is less than I have it. Then 4 minus 4 will give me 0. Basically, 4 minus 4 will give me what? 0. Therefore, I'm going to have what? 0. Same. This basically the subtraction. You have to know the movement of subtraction. If you are moving clockwise, if you are moving in anti-clockwise direction. If you are moving in anti-clockwise like minus 1, you have to start from 0, then move in 1 time. That will land towards 4. Therefore, 0 minus 1, like 0 minus 1 will give me 4. And when you have 0 minus 2, give me minus 2. Everything is starting from 0 and it's going to move in 2 times. You first get to 4, then get to 3. That will give me what? 3. Is how to go about subtraction using what? Subtraction in what? Modulus. Fine. And basically for this, I have the table already. This is how the table is formed compared with what I have. Now, basically, when you now look at this particular example I have here, the example I have here is to evaluate 3, 6, 36, 20, basically in mode. You need to understand in mode 6, you give in mode 6 this addition what? Arithmetic what? Modulus. Therefore, in this particular case, I have to add it first. Add the integer. When you add the integer, it will be 30 plus 20. Automatically, the operation here is plus. You have 6, then you have 5. That's 56. Then 56 mod what? 6 because it's returning the remainder. How many 6 will you see in 56? That will be the problem. For you to do that, say 56, which is the integer number, divided by the mode, which is 6. And that will purely give me what? I think that should give me around 9 because 6 times 9 will give me 54. Then plus what? Plus 2. Automatically is going to return what? 2. Therefore, the answer for this will be what? 2 mod 6. And instead of using, you can use the numbers of times. If you have to use the circle, we're going to start from 0. You have 1, you have 2, you have 3, you have 4, then you have 5. You're going to stop 5. Now, by the time the thing goes round in 9 times, it landed here. They want to move the remaining 2. First move to 1, then end with what? 2. Therefore, it will be 2 modulo 6 because it's returning the what? The remainder. This is very, very important, especially when it comes to coding, because this is how coding actually works. And that is what we have here as well. Then we can work something out like this. We can work out the simplest what? A positive form of what? Minus 3. Therefore, in this particular case, what I would suggest to do is I'm going to give you different ways of doing that. But the first one is you're in mode 8. Therefore, the digit number in mode 8 will be 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. It will not be there. Therefore, when you have a circle, you have 0, you have 1, you have 2, these 2, you have 3, 4, 5, 6, and you have 7. Basically, in as proper direction, you are moving 3 times in as proper direction. When you are moving 3 times in as proper direction, it's going to be like this. Because of minus 3, this minus 1, this minus 2. Basically, this was minus 3, and this 5. The answer should have been basically 5 in mode what? In mode 8. It's as simple as that. It has to do with movement, either clockwise or anti-clockwise direction. Or better still, since it's in mode 8, you try, what can you do in mode 8? You have 1 times 8, then you have plus the remainder. Yeah, but this one is, can make this one x, then make the remainder. Therefore, I have to get minus what? 3. What can I do to get minus 3? If I have minus 1, I say minus 1 times what? 8. Then that will give me what? That will give me minus what? Automatically that will give me minus 8. Minus 8 plus 5. Automatically minus 8 plus 5 will surely give me minus 8 plus 5. What will this one give me? It will give me, this will give me minus what? Minus 3. Because what I have here is basically I have minus 8, then I'm adding plus 5 to it. I'm owing somebody. I have owing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I have 5 to pay off. If we remove your 5, you still left with what? Still have what? Minus 3, which will give me this. Therefore, in this particular case, what you've done is a very simple thing. Therefore, the answer here is returning the remainder. This is the remainder. It's returning the remainder. Therefore, in this case, it will just be 5, which is the remainder. Mode what? 8. Because if you try, if s is 1, for example, if you try 1 times 8, 1 times 8 plus, what can you work out? Or I said you want to say minus 5. Can easily work. You make this one either positive or negative, which has to do with movement, then make the remainder. Can substitute anything for the remainder. Therefore, if I'm putting 2 here, then you have to look for a way of getting minus 3. But basically, the movement will have been so easy for you to get your answer, but you can work out through this as well. Therefore, basically what we've done here, this x, which you can change, you can make it -1, you can make it 1, and this remainder. You have to remember that by the time you do your manipulation, you must be able to get the value in front of that mode. And the value here is what? -3. Or you do it, you talk or you work out your movement. It means you are moving in three, you are moving 3 times in what clockwise direction. You have to go from 0 to 7 to 8 and to 5. But basically that's what we have here. Then you can talk about this particular C. You have to do 12 minus 3 in mode. Now 12 minus 3 basically in mode 5. We have to work out this first. 12 minus 3 mode 5, we have what? 12 minus 3. Automatically 12 minus 3 will give you what? 9. And I've told you that you have 9. And you have to return the remainder for me to get a remainder. And I say 9, the answer you've gotten divided by the mode is 5. And that will be what? 1. Remainder what? 4. Automatically it's returning what? 4. Therefore the answer for that will be what? 4 mode 5. Or basically you do your normal counting if you are in love with counting. But you need to be very fast when it comes to mathematics. Therefore, it's not all the time you'll be doing your counting. This 1, 0, 1, 2, this 3, practically 4. Therefore, I'm moving 9 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 9. Stop here. That will actually give you what? 4. Therefore, if you do your movement, clockwise direction, you are going to get the same thing. Therefore, it all depends on what you want to use and how you want to go about it. Either use this or use this. Therefore, in that particular case, when you look at the second exercise, you are given 11 minus, and we have 11 minus 24, basically in mode, it's in mode 7. Then when you do this subtraction, you have your 11, you have your what? 24 minus. But I would have loved you to put the bigger number up and the smaller down, because what you have is minus. Remember, it's minus. Therefore, basically, when you do this, you have 3. When you do this, you have what? 1. But it will still give me minus 19. Why is giving me minus 19 is because I'm subtracting. I'm owing, if I should use that method, you have minus 24, owing somebody minus 24, and you have 11 to pay off. Automatically, what is going to remain to be paid will be what? Minus 13. Therefore, the answer for this is basically minus 13. Minus 13 in mode what? 7. What can you do to get your what? Minus 13 in mode? To do the x is variable. To do what the x is, we have the x, we have the mode itself, then you have the what? The remainder. Therefore, basically, if you use -1 times the mode is 7, that will give me what? -7. -7, say -7, and this must be plus. What can I add to give me 13? It can't work. Then you try -2. If I try -2 times 7, that will give me what? -2 times 7. If -14, then -14 plus 1, basically I'm going to have what? -13. This will work. -2 times 7 will be -14. -14 plus 1 will give me what? -13. Basically this will work, and it's returning the what? The remainder. The answer will be 1 mode what? 7. 1 mode 7. Or basically you use your line. You have your 0 here, you have your 1, you have your 2, you have your 3, you have your 4, then you have your 5, then you have your what? 6. You cannot have 7. In this case, you have -13. It needs to go in 13 times. This 1, then this 2, this 3, this 4, this 5, this 6, this 7, then this 8, then this 9, then this 10, this 11, this 12, then this what 13. Oh, sorry, I thought it's moving. I counted clockwise direction instead of anti-clockwise because the answer we are getting is what minus 13. Sorry for that. Should have been the answer. Okay, the answer is we got was minus 13. Therefore, should have been in anti-clockwise direction because you have 11 minus 24. And I said it's what minus 13. I said minus 13. You have minus 13 in mode 7. How I told you can change your x, multiply by the mode, then plus the remainder. Therefore, you'll be trying it if x is minus 1. Carry for the minus 1 times the mode here is 7 plus. There's nothing. The value here must be greater for you to have minus because the remainder will be what you are going to have to make up this particular 13. If you try 2 here, basically if I try 2 minus 2, then 7 will be minus 14. And then I need to get minus 13. Let me say plus 1. Because if I pay off 1, here, I'm going to get what? Minus 13. Automatically, this should have given me what? Minus what? 13. Therefore, since I have minus 13 in mode 7, and it's going to return the remainder, which is 1, the answer will now be what? 1 in mode 7. Or you use your big chart, but you have to remember something. Don't forget, because if you do, you are going to redo it back. This 3, automatically this 4, then this 5, then basically this will be 6. You have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Therefore, it's moving in anti-clockwise direction because it is minus 13. I hope you know. Therefore, it's going to be like this. This will be 1, this will be 2, automatically this will be 3, then this will be 4, this 5, this 6, and this 7, then move again 8, then from 8 to 9, 10, then 11, then 12, then 13, stopping at 1. Therefore, still returning 1. Therefore, it should be 1 in mode 7. So it's either use either of the two, but you need to remember that for you to have minus something bigger, your remainder must always be positive, and your value of s can be plus or minus depending on what you are looking for. Therefore, you will either add to get what you are looking for, or you subtract to get what you are looking for. When in any way, you always remember that your remainder should be positive because you are returning what's positive integer. Okay, that is what actually happened here, and think then we go to the next slide. Okay, you have the solution you have done. The solution I've done, basically what I use minus 3 as my variable of s times 7, that will be minus 14, and I need to get what's minus 13. Now for me to do that, what I did was to add 1 to it, and since it's returning the remainder, it should be 1 mod 7. Then for multiplication in mode 5 or modulo what 5, it's just the same thing. 0 times anything multiplied by 0 automatically will give you 0. Then any number that is not up towards the mode, you just put it there. 0 multiplied by everything 0. 1 times 0 will automatically give me 0. 1 times 1 is not up towards 5. Put 1 back. 1 times 2, 2 is not up to 5. 1 times 3, 1 times 4. Then in that particular order, you have this. Therefore, multiplication is more or less very simple when it comes to arithmetic. modulus. Therefore, in that particular case, we move to the next one, and basically the next one we're going to be talking about here. If you are given a question of this form, we have to calculate the following mode. What? Basically, in mode 5, you have the first one is you have 3 times 2. Automatically, 3 times 2 will give you what? 6. Since it's in mode 5 divided by what? 5. If you do that divided by 5, automatically you are going to have 1 remainder 1. And it's returning the what? The remainder, which will give you what? 1 mod 5. Or you use, can decide, but basically if I just learn it, well, it's good for you to start with this, but you have to don't use this in the exam because there won't be time for all these. That's 4. Therefore, it's moving how many times? 6 times. There's 1, this 0, 2, then go to 3, then go to 4, then go to 5, then go back to what? 6, which will give you 1. Basically, that's what we've been doing, and this is big enough. It's returning the what? Remainder. Therefore, by the time you multiply, you have to replace it divided by what? 5. You are going to have, if you divide 336 by 5, basically what you are going to have is 67, then remainder was 1. Basically, you are going to have 7, and it's returning the remainder, that will be 1 mod 5. Or you do your turning, the same thing you are going to get when you do your turning as well. Now, talk about division. Yes, we are moving deep inside little by little. Division is the inverse of multiplication. We'll talk about multiplication. Therefore, division is just the inverse of multiplication. To solve division problem, for example, if, look at this particular example we have here, we're saying to make it easier for you, let me just draw the table, the multiplication table for mode 5. This will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Therefore, this will be 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So this will be 0 times 0, 0, 1 times 1, 1, 1 times 2, 2, 1 times 3, 3, 1 times 4, 4. Then 2 times 0, 0, 2 times 1, 2, 2 times 2, 4. Then 2 times 3, 6. It will return 1. Then 2 times 4, 8. It will return 3. Yes, it will return 3. Then you have this 0, 3. You have 3 times 0, 0, 3 times 1, 3. Then 3 times 2, 6. That should return 1. Then 3 times 3, 9. That should return 4. Then 3 times 4, 12. 12, that should return 2. Then there is 0. Then this 4. Then that's 3. And 4 times 12, that will return 2. 16, that will return 1. This, although in the exam you don't need to do this, but I just want to use this to explain to you how it works. Therefore, if you have 2 divided by 4 equals what? X in mode, basically in mode 5, we see here is there's invisible 1 here, there's invisible 1 here. Therefore, you can have 2 over 1 multiply by changing the sign. Once I change the sign, the invisible 1 will go up and the 4 will come down, equals what? X. Then when you do this, you have 2 over 4 will give you what? X. Therefore, in this case, when you multiply, you have 4x equals what? 2. Therefore, in mode 5, what will you multiply? What will 4 multiply to give you 2? If 4 can multiply 1. If 4 can multiply, if 4 multiply 1, will you give me 4 multiply 1? 4 here. I'm talking about 4 here. This is 4. If 4 multiply 0, it will give me 0. If 4 multiply 1, will give me 4. If 4 multiply 2, it will give me what? 3. If 4 multiply 3, automatically it's going to give me what? 2. Therefore, the answer basically here is going to be what? The answer basically here is going to be what? 3, because 4 times 3 automatically is going to return this. Therefore, it's going to return this as remainder in mod what? 5. But when you look at it, 4 times 3 is what? 12. Then 12 divided by 5 automatically is going to be what? These 2 remainder what? 2. Therefore, it's returning what? 2. But the answer for this, since division, we're looking for the value of s. The value of s here is going to be what? 3. Therefore, in this case, in the example, just say 4 times 1, 4. 4 divided by 5, it will now return 2. 4 times 2 is 8. Now, if you say 4 times 1, that will be 4. 4 divided by 5, it will now return 2. This will return 4. You say, okay, 4 times 2, that will give me what? 8. 8 divided by 5, it will be what? 1. Then it will return 3. Now 2, then you move to 4. 4 times 3, 12. 5. Automatically, that will give you what? 2. Remainder what? That will return 2. Therefore, the answer here in this division will be what? 3. Basically, that's what we're talking about here. Therefore, for division, and basically we're going to be using this as we move on. But for the multiplication inverse, you need to understand what we mean by multiplication inverse of a number. We're looking for what inverse can we multiply, or what number can we multiply that will return 1. Therefore, the multiplication inverse of a number y is the number y such that y divided by y should be equal to what? 1. Automatically, if I have 5, say 5 multiplied by 1 over 5, automatically should give me 1. Basically, we're talking about multiplication inverse, because 7 multiplied by 1 over 7 will give me 1. We can apply the above to find the inverse of residue in modular arithmetic. So, okay, let's see how it's going to go. Let's see some of the examples of this particular thing we're talking about. Okay, look at this. Find the inverse of what? Remember, I am finding the inverse of 5 in mode 7. So finding the inverse of 5 in mode, say, talking about what can we multiply that will give me 1 in mode 7. If I say in mode 7, what can we multiply by 5 that will give me this 5? That will give me what? 1. What can I, let's say 5s, that will give me what? 1 in mode 7. Therefore, if I say x is 1, automatically I'm going to have 5 times 1. That will give me 5. 5 divided by 7, that will give me what? 0, remainder 5. This one is returning 5. No, if I say x is 2, I'm going to have 5 times 2. I'm going to have 5 times 2. That will give me what? 10. 10 divided by 7, that will be 1. Remainder what? 3. Therefore, it's returning 3. No. Now, if you say 5 times 3, say 5 times 3. 5 times 3 is what? 15. Okay, good. 15. 15 divided by 7. Automatically, that will be 2. Remainder what? 1. Because 7 times 2 is 14 plus 1. Therefore, it's going to be 3. Because when you multiply 3 by what? 5 and 7, it will return 1, which is the remainder. Therefore, you just have to understand all this particular principle when it comes to inverse. Then when they say 3 as well, 3 in mode 4, basically just say 3x. That what you multiply 3 by, that will give you 1 in mode 4. Automatically, if you say 3 times 1, that will give me 3. 3 divided by 4, that will be 0. Remainder what? 3. Because 4 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 3 will give me 3. It's returning 3, not 1. Go to 3 times 2. Automatically 3 times 2 will give me 6. 6 divided by 4. Automatically that will be 1, remainder 2. Therefore it's returning 2, which is not. Therefore if I now try 3 times 3, that will give me what? 9. So 9 divided by what? 9 divided by 4. That will give me 2. Remainder what? 1. Because 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1 will give me 9. Automatically is returning what? 1. Therefore the answer for this inverse will be what? 3. As simple as that. Therefore, when talking about inverse, we're talking about something we can multiply that will return 1 to us as a remainder. Simple as that. Basically, these are simple things. Just have to put your mind to them, have the illustration, the explanation over here, and just read through. I've explained everything. The inverse of 3 multiplied is the number that when multiplied by 3 will give you what? 1 as a remainder. That what I've actually done here. Okay, then with this we should be able to do this. 4 divided by a mod 5, therefore it should be 3 over 4. Let's say equals what? X. Is it equals what? X. Automatically I'm going to have 4x equals what? 3. Basically, you are looking for what you multiply in mod 5 that will return what? 3 to you. Therefore, if I say 4 times 1, it will return 4. Say 4 times 2, that will be 8. 4 times 2. Automatically, that will be what? 8. If I'm taking S as 1, 2, keep using it. 3, 4. Yes, if it is 2, that will be 8. 8 divided by 5. That will give me what? 1. Then it's returning what? Remainder what? 3. Automatically, I'm looking for what I multiply for by return. And that should be 2. Therefore, the answer for that should not take me too long to get. Therefore, the answer for that should be what? That should be 2. The answer for it should be what? 2. Basically, therefore, let's say here 4, then the answer should be what? 2. Because it should just be 2 in mod. It should just be 2 in mod 5, and that will happen here. Therefore, when you have 3 divided by 3, or you have 3 divided by 2, just 3 divided by 3, let's say the what? X. Therefore, you have 3x equals what? 3 in mod what? 5. Basically, we are looking for what we are going to multiply 3 with. I divide our return what? 3 to you. Therefore, if you try 3, you try 3 times 1, that will give me what? 3. 3 divided by 5, automatically that will be 0, remainder what? 3 is returning 3. Therefore, the answer is 1. Because it's returning 3 to me, therefore it's going to be 1 mod 5. That's basically just the answer. They are not something hard. They're very simple, just understanding the concepts and begin to see how it works. Okay, basically I should have the solution as well here. Or you use this, we are looking for what you multiply that will give you 3. Therefore 4, I'm considering 4 mod. Therefore 4 multiplied by 0 will give me 0. It's not returning what? 3. 4 multiplied by 1 will give me 4. No. 4 multiplied by 2 will give me what? 3. Automatically the answer will be what? The answer will be what? 2 mod 5. As simple as that, if I have to use table for it. Therefore, you have some of these particular questions. You have this s plus 5 equals to what? 2. You have to find s. How will you do this? You have to find s. Basically, in this particular case, what will you add in mod 7 that will give you what? That will return 2. If you try 1, you say 1 plus 5. Automatically 1 plus 5 will give you what? 6. 6 in mod 7. That will be 0. Remainder was 6. It's returning 6. It's not returning 2. Now we try 2 plus 5. Now you try 2 plus 5, that will give you 7. 7 divided by 7, that will be 1. Remainder was 0. It's returning 0. No. You try 3 plus 5. That will give you what? 8. 8 divided by 7. Automatically that will be 1. Remember that 1 is returning 1. And no, we need something that will return 2. Therefore, you say 4. 4 plus 5. Automatically 4 plus 5 will give you what? 9. 9 divided by 7, which is mod. That will give you what? 1. Then remainder what? 2. Therefore, this is returning 2. Practically, the answer is going to be what? 4. Therefore, in this particular case, 4, say, okay, 5 plus what? Because here this should have been this. To look for a number in arithmetic mode 7 that can be added to 5 to make it 2. Can be added to 5 to make it 2. I think we'll complete it. That should have been what? 4. Because you can add 4 or you can add 5. If you add 5, this 5 to this 4. If you add 5 to 0, you have 4. Add 5 to 1, you have 5. Until you have the one you had that will give you these 2 should be 4. That should be 4. In this particular scenario, 5 under what? 4 will give you what? 2. But basically, we'll have completed it to make it easier for you to understand. Or basically, you can say 4 plus, say 4 plus what? 5 will give you 9. When you divide 9 by 2, when you divide 9 by 7, it should return 2. Now from the mode, get the value to substitute for s and divide it by 7 to get remainder 2, which is what I've done actually. I'm just trying to look at this table and see. See here, therefore 4 plus 5 will give me what? This will return 2. Therefore, I have 4. Okay, fine. The application, let's quickly talk about the application. I don't really want to waste our time. Under this application of modular was arithmetic. In 1 year, New Year days on Wednesday. It means starting with Wednesday, and you have how many days? 7 days in a week. On what day of the week will the new year be in the following year? If it is what? A common year, or if it is a leap year. So there are 7 days in a week, so we work arithmetic in mode 7. Here we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, as shown here, not also waste our time. The common year is 365 days, and then when you divide 365 by 7, you are going to have 52 days, and 1 days remain. That means 1 day is remaining, right? Then this remainder are going to locate it where it's going to be here. Although the day is starting from Wednesday, automatically it's just moving. It has 1 remainder. It's just moving from Wednesday to what? Thursday. Therefore, the following year is going to be what? Going to have it that particular year. I'm going to have it on Thursday. Therefore, the day of the week is Thursday, basically for the common year. The day of the week, because they asked me on what day of the week will the new year day be. The new year day will be on Thursday, because it has 1 remainder. But if it is a leap year, you need to understand that it's taking 366 days. And when you divide 366 days by 7, you'll be having 52 weeks and 2 days. So it has 2 remainders. Therefore, it means that starting from Wednesday, go from Wednesday to Thursday, then Friday. Automatically, that year is going to be on Friday. For the leap year, 2 days after Wednesday is what? Friday. Therefore, the day of the week is going to be on Friday. This is the application of what we can use in modular arithmetic for.